A few weeks ago, Tom Aspinall suggested that the UFC strip Jon Jones of his belt due to his pectoral injury and the amount of time he will be out for. Last night, Jon finally responded to Tom. On X, Jon posted this. He wrote, "I faced the absolute toughest competition this world had to offer for 15 years now. During camp for a title defense, I sustained a major injury that required surgery for the first time in my career. Now I have newcomers requesting that I get my championship stripped. 0 wins over legends, 0 title defenses, and already thinking you could call the shots to Dana. That's hilarious. In my 15-year career, I've seen so many guys who are supposed to be the next big thing. There's only ever been one Jon Jones. Never forget that." Tom Aspinall responded. He wrote, "You're right. Sorry, Jon." Giga Chikadze had to pull out of UFC 296 due to a torn groin. He was scheduled to fight Josh Emmett. Giga posted footage of the exact moment the injury happened to his Instagram. He was sparring Merab Dvalishvili. In the caption, he wrote, "Shit happens. I'll be back very soon." Neil Magny reveals that Garry's comments nearly costed him custody of his children. Speaking to James Lynch this week, Neil said Garry's comments in itself had a lot more consequences than just like the nonsense at the press conference. There were literally screenshots being taken of headlines saying that I'm a child abuser and I do this to my kids. There were screenshots being taken and put into apps and things like that would be admissible in court where I'm literally fighting for custody of my children. When it was all said and done, there was something that came out very poorly on my end. The way he chose to blow it out of proportion has some pretty significant consequences for me. It was just a lot bigger than just selling a pay-per-view. It was literally my children's relationship with me was at stake at that point. Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch give their takes on BKFC 56 over the weekend. Neither of them see Mike Perry losing to anybody anytime soon.
Big fight, yeah, that was like a fun little card. Mike Perry, Eddie Alvarez. It was too late. I couldn't stay up and watch it. It was I passed out too early. Did you end up watching it?
Oh yeah, Mike Perry, Eddie Alvarez.
You watched it?
I watched
Was
it.
it sick?
Yeah, bro, Eddie looked so good.
Eddie was looking good?
Piecing Mike up, bouncing his head back like boom, 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 moving his head, boom, 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 like looking so slick. But Mike Perry, he just his neck, his head, it just didn't do anything to him. And then Mike would get him in the pocket, and it was just the more powerful guy in the pocket. And then
well, he fought at 70. Eddie fought at 155. And it's just bigger. He was just bigger, durable.
Yeah, he was just bigger.
I saw Jeremy Stevens versus Jimmy Rivera was on that too.
That was a good fight too. Jimmy Rivera cracked Jeremy Stevens.
It's crazy because how small he is, but in bare knuckle, the weight. I mean, it still matters, but it's not as like.
Yeah.
Like you're watching 35ers fight 55ers, 55ers fight 75ers. It's like it's pretty cool to watch the difference between weights and. But yeah, so that was a good little scrap there. Ryan Garcia, what?
But freaking Mike Perry, I don't know who's gonna beat that dude in bare knuckle at those weights. I don't know who it's gonna be. He's just too durable. His neck, and he's just used to punching people with his bare knuckles. And I think it was the second round, I'm pretty sure, where I think Eddie said something to his coach, and his coach just called it. Said,
really? That's how that ended, huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
His eye was swollen up, and who knows if he had a fracture in his eye or something. But it's like.
Dricus Du Plessis is extremely confident that he would beat Israel Adesanya. He also discusses potentially challenging Alex Pereira for the light heavyweight title for double champ status if he defeats Sean Strickland at UFC 297. Speaking to Submission Radio, Dricus said the Izzy fight is a fight where I honestly believe that I would have grabbed him and I would have manhandled him, to be honest. I know he's got good takedown defense, but I don't think people understand the difference between myself and Israel Adesanya. If I would have grabbed him, it would have been a very long night. Well, no, it wouldn't have been a long night. Obviously, his striking is good. There's no way Israel Adesanya knocks me out. I would still love to fight Israel Adesanya 100%. It would be my first choice as a defense to fight Israel. It'll be great, but I'm assuming Khamzat's the guy they're going to try to push, so that'll be cool. I do want to defend the belt before moving up. Obviously, it's all going to come down to who I beat and how good I make it look. If I go out there and I absolutely destroy Khamzat, what's there really left? If I go out there and I beat Israel Adesanya after becoming champion, he's wiped out the whole division. The two guys who wiped out the division was Robert Whittaker and Israel Adesanya, and beating those two guys doesn't really leave any room left. But I'm a big guy. I could definitely hang with the guys at 205. I'll be giving up a little bit of reach, but in terms of strength, power, and size, I'm right there. But that's talking down the line. For now, I have one goal only, and that's Sean Strickland. And after that, that goal will shift onto whatever happens next. Of course, I want that double champ status. Everybody does. I think that's almost became a norm. It's beginning that status as a double champ, and I definitely also want that. I want to be in that 1% of the 1%. As you guys know, Conor McGregor still does not have an official fight booked. The rumor is that Conor will be fighting at UFC 300, but the opponent is up in the air. The MMA community thought it would be Michael Chandler after the two just filmed The Ultimate Fighter. However, both Dana and Conor have said numerous times that they don't know if Chandler is the official pick. They both just pretty much say we'll see what happens. Charles Oliveira is willing to step up and fight Conor. Charles posted this to his Instagram story. It's a fight poster that says Oliveira versus McGregor. It says UFC 300. Who would you guys rather see Conor fight, Chandler or Oliveira? Post your pick in the comments. New alleged details have emerged today regarding Jamahl Hill's recent arrest. In our initial video on this story, we had very little information. We just knew that Jamahl was arrested after a physical altercation with his brother James, which was confirmed by TMZ. Jamahl responded on his YouTube channel after the news came out. Here's what he had to say.
At this time, it is an open case. I've been advised not to speak on it, which I know not to speak on it. I just can't wait for the truth to be told in court, and I will wait for that day, and I look forward to that day.
MMAfighting.com obtained the police report. Here are the new alleged details. According to the report, Jamahl and his brother James made an agreement for James and his wife to clean Jamahl's house for $300, which had been left vacant and without electricity, causing food to rot and spoil. Jamahl and James began arguing around 7 p.m. local time about the house being cleaned and other family matters. According to James, Jamahl took off his shirt and got in his face, before allegedly punching him in the face, knocking him to the ground. James claims that he stood back up and his wife tried to stand between him and Jamahl. He claims Jamahl then reached around his wife and punched him in the face once again, causing him to fall and become dazed. An officer noted that James had a tooth knocked out during the alleged dispute, and James's face had significant swelling. Further details state the argument really got heated when James asked Jamahl why he never texted his own daughter that was at their house for Thanksgiving. James accused Jamahl of being disrespectful to women and abandoning his own daughter. James also claims the first punch thrown by Jamahl was a sucker punch. James says that he debated whether or not to call the police because he quote-unquote didn't want to ruin Jamahl's UFC fighting career. However, James claims that he texted Jamahl asking for an apology, and Jamahl didn't respond. Jamahl was questioned if he wanted to speak with the officer. Jamahl responded, "I want to talk to my lawyer." And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video in reference to Mike Perry calling out Jorge Masvidal. The first one's from Bark Academy's 3829. It says, "Damn, this might actually be Jorge's perfect comeback fight." We all know Jorge has never been afraid of a bare knuckle fight. That would be awesome to see him fight Perry in BKFC. The second one's from Chris L2838. It's in reference to Colby Covington saying he got a DUI, which led him to quit drinking. It says, "Yup, I got a DUI too, and I don't even drink regularly. Messed my whole life up and could have messed someone else's life up too. To having no life. Lesson learned." And the final one says, "Good on Colby. Sometimes forget all the trash talk is just an act, and he's really just trying to make it like everyone else." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.